Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are about to arrive at the hesitation station. Please mind your step as you enter the station.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Hesitation Station podcast. My name is Jay, along with my co-host Tank. How's it going today, buddy?
Hola, mi amigo. How you doing?
Okay, first off, the person we're having is from New Orleans, not Hispanic, but
Well, I'm
okay.
sorry, I don't speak French Creole. Parlez-vous français? Oh, oui, oui. And that's really about it.
Oui, oui. Oh,
Yeah, it's yes in French.
yes, I know. Thank you.
I probably butchered that shit. Oh well.
That's fine. Well, anyway, man, how's
Anyway,
your week been going?
doing good, man. It's Wednesday. I'm ready for the weekend.
Same,
Need a nap.
same. Me too. Well, today, everybody, we went to
I,
Kayfabe.
I
Kayfabe.
no, that wasn't today. It was,
I know, I know. I'm saying, what is it
but I
called?
gotta ask about that ball and background you got right there.
We will get to it, sir. We will get to it. But first, we went to
Uh,
Kayfabe. We went to Kayfabe a couple weeks back, and we met an awesome wrestler, and his name is Danny Flamingo. Okay, with the I gotta make sure he's fully repped there. Look at that. And we had a blast talking to him. So we invited him on the show. So everybody, put your hands
ta-da!
together for Danny.
There we go. Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today?
How's it going,
Doing
man?
good. How you doing?
Fantastic, baby. And I'm gonna give you a little bit of Creole Cajun for you. Les bon temps roulé.
Let the good times
Yeah,
roll.
what he said.
That's
Yeah,
it. That's
yeah.
it.
I've been to New Orleans enough to know that. That's about all I know. Don't tell me anymore because I don't know.
See, most of the times I've been to New Orleans, I've been drunk. I don't remember a lot of shit.
That's the
Hey, look,
best way to
that
go, though.
there are two main reasons why people come to New Orleans. They come to eat and they come to drink. It just is what it is.
Look, don't get me started on eat, man, because that's the first time I had gator, and oh my god,
It's
gator
fantastic, isn't
is
it?
yes, it is.
Tastes like chicken to me.
I mean, everything tastes like chicken, but depending on how you prepare it, and Gator is definitely a New Orleans cuisine, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, that's
Call
because
me
y'all.
Cajun. I'll eat the crap out of some gator.
That's because these crazy fuckers like to go out and be like, "Let's go hunt that thing down," and like no scaredness, no fear. They're just like, "Let's go get it." Be a good old bowl. Be a nice cookout. I'm just like,
Well, I mean,
that's
they
an
follow my rule.
alligator.
They
Well,
follow my rule.
if we ain't eating crawfish, we ain't eating crab, we'll eat some gator like nobody's business.
So I have
If it
something
don't
to
eat me
tell you.
first, I'll eat it.
I got something to tell you,
Yeah.
Danny. You're gonna disown me for this, but I'm sorry. I hate crawfish. I can't stand them.
Oh my.
Hmm.
Hey, that's terrible. Why do you hate crawfish?
You
I
just
just
got
never
banned from
liked.
Louisiana.
Damn. I just never liked the taste. I never liked the spice. I never liked the taste. I just never liked them.
What about crab or shrimp?
I've never had crab, despise shrimp,
He don't eat any kind of seafood.
any kind of seafood.
How,
I've had
how
Man,
we've
oysters
it
managed,
before.
dude, I love, with the exception of oysters and a couple
I hate
other things,
oysters.
I love seafood.
See, if your background wasn't as gangster as it was, I would be a little offended. However, I got one for you for the oysters. Next time y'all come to town, it'll be charbroiled oysters or boiled oysters. Like, and when I mean boiled oysters, I mean like boiled like you would boil crawfish.
Yeah.
Boiled oysters is fantastic.
I mean
We,
I'm willing to try anything once because my motto is
yeah, yeah.
if I try something once and if I don't like it, never have to do it again. But if I
That's
like it,
right.
that's great.
Can't say you don't like it if you ain't tried it.
That's why you should try skydiving, bitch.
Hey, fuck you. I don't like heights.
I've been
I've
skydiving,
jumped,
and I'm trying to get
I've
him to go
jumped off
skydiving,
ladders and
Danny.
I've jumped off top ropes. I am not.
Did you go skydiving by yourself or you was with someone
No, I
like
was with
attached?
somebody. Yeah, no, I was attached. No, hell no, I didn't do it by myself.
Yeah, I have to say that's probably one that I'm really terrified. That and bungee jumping. But
I love
I'm
bungee
old enough.
jumping.
I'm old enough to remember Faces of Death. So that's why I'm afraid to jump bungee jumping. Have y'all ever heard of the Faces of Death?
I
Yep.
can't say I have. Was that a
So
movie?
well, yeah,
Sure.
they go over real things that happen, like how people die. Like it was very gruesome. And one of the things it was somewhere in Mississippi. Some college students they were deciding to bungee jump off of the roof of the college, and the rope was too long. So when the dude jumped off, he hit the ground.
Ooh.
Slap.
So
I
you want
want to
to go
say that
bungee
was
cord jumping?
it right. It might have been like in the second or third one, but it was crazy. It was called Faces of Death. There was like maybe 7 or 8 different Faces of Death. It was pretty gruesome.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up now.
There's a reason why I don't like heights.
Well, it took a long time before I was able to do anything off the top rope, and I usually don't do anything off the top rope. I've only done it in one match one time. Never done it since.
Yeah. Like
So
I've jumped off ladders and I've jumped off the top rope, but if it's 20, 30 feet in the air, we gonna have problems.
Yeah, yeah. Any of the Hell in a Cell stuff or at the top of the cage, like all of that, like that's crazy to me. I mean, granted, if you're gonna do it, do your thing, no problem. But I mean, to each his own, you know.
Yeah.
that's fair. I'm
Like
gonna
that
say
vault
this.
mankind took. Nope. No way
I'm
in
gonna
hell.
say this before I start asking you about your wrestling career.
Okay.
I hate crawfish, but I love crawfish boils. Like, if you called me up right now and said, "Hey, bro, you want to come to a crawfish bowl?" Hell yeah. The fact that we can all get together, have a couple beers, have a couple drinks, there's fucking corn and there's all this other stuff. Everybody's having fun. That I'll go to that any day, but I won't eat the crawfish.
Well,
He'll
I mean,
eat
you got to
all the
remember.
corn, taters, and sausage.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was gonna say there's all
yeah,
kinds of other things that we put in a pot. So you got mushrooms, you got onions, you got sausage, you got potatoes, you got all corn, you got all kinds of stuff. So I mean, there's other things besides the main dish, you know.
right.
Yeah.
But I'll
See,
be
you
down
done
for that.
killed him with the first one because he's allergic to mushrooms.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately,
Oh, they ain't nothing like bald mushrooms and that crawfish. Oh man, it's so good.
one will never know.
Picking out fungus.
So, all right, Danny. Let's start off with something easy. How long have you been wrestling?
I'm coming up on my 11th year.
Is that
Nice.
professionally or just?
No, that's professionally. I started training in 2013.
Mm,
And unfortunately, I'm one of them guys that I'm not going to let COVID take away my years from wrestling.
yeah,
Granted, we weren't traveling, we weren't really doing a whole lot, we weren't training like talking about. We Wildkat Sports did film a show at our training center that we were at, and I want to say we did that in the summer of 20, I think it was. Like some of the restrictions had just started being lifted. But I mean, again, it's one of them things, you know, I'm a fan of the business. I'm definitely a fan of Wildkat Sports product. I watch that more than I watch anything else. But I mean, you know, going on 11 years and I mean, training, training in and out of the ring, you know, promos, things like that. So, I mean, yeah, going on 11 years.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
11 years. And what are you? Are you the bad guy, good guy, baby
I
face?
am a baby face. Matter of fact, what y'all saw at Kayfabe Fest was the first time I had ever wrestled outside of my hometown as a baby face. So it was definitely some
Really?
new territory for me. Because usually when I travel, I'm a heel. I mean, you look at me, I'm not like your average wrestler, so I have to bring a little something extra to the table, you know.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I was I'm not gonna lie to you, man. All respect to you. We absolutely loved your performance. We loved your match. But when we talked to you at your table, you were talking about how Danny Flamingo is, how he has that attitude. He doesn't give a fuck what anybody else thinks, kind of thing. Um, and me and Tank were sitting down waiting for you to come out, and then you started playing that music. That threw us way off.
Dude, your theme song threw me for a loop. I was like, wait, what? I
One of
like it.
one of my best friends, I was maybe 3 years in, 4 years in. One of my best friends comes to a show, and he's sitting with my family and a couple other friends, and my music hits. And at this point, I was one of the company's biggest heels, and my music hits. And when my music hits, my boy turns around, looks at everybody, he says, "What fucking douchebag is coming out to this music?" And all my friends just kind of looked at me and were like, "Oh man, that's Danny coming out." And he's like, "Oh, I didn't realize that was his music." And he was from out of town. Like he's a bad friend. He never watched any of my stuff online, none of that other stuff. And he watched me live for the first time. And it's like, hey, sometimes people just don't know. I mean, this is the same friend that he asked me why I hit the guy so hard. And I looked at him and I was like, see, that's the difference between you and me. You're a mark and I'm a professional. So it's supposed to look like I hit that guy that hard. And I mean, it's funny because everybody doesn't realize my music. And then on top of that, now I'm a baby face. I say now, but I've been a baby face. Hell, I've been a baby face for the last 4 years, give or take. And it's funny when people hear my music, they don't expect that.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
definitely threw us off. But like he
Threw us
said,
for a loop.
and you put on a hell of a performance.
Thank you.
That's the one thing I really enjoyed about it. So I'm gonna be honest. I've always watched wrestling from the comfort of my home. That was my first time I've ever seen it like in a show.
Really?
Yeah, 100%. Like usually I'm the one, I'm very amateur. Me and Tank are. We do backyard wrestling, but usually we're the ones in the rings, and we don't know how it's going to end up or how it looks until we see the video. So that being my first time, I went in there thinking, okay, I don't know how this is going to turn out, but dude, I ended up loving it. Like I'm over here yelling at you, like kick his ass. Like I'm over here making fun of what's his, I don't know his name.
Chuck Devon.
Yeah, is he, nah, he was another guy. It was another match. He's a big dude with like this long beard that faced
Oh, that was Zane.
dang,
It was
yeah.
it was the tag team match.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that is one big mother. I'm just like, I mean, commentating.
That was my favorite match of the night. That's what I asked a bunch of people, but that was the tag match was my favorite match of the night, man. I only got to see the second half of the card, but that was my favorite match.
hmm Yeah, I mean, dude, you did well on yours, and they did well. Everybody did well. I mean, the fact that Mickey Drama came in and he made me not like him at all. I was like, you're doing your role really well.
Did y'all see the panel with Mickey Drama and Mickey James?
I heard it. I did not see it.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Like it was really cool. Like she's a friend of Wildkat Sports. Unfortunately, we haven't had her on a show, but her and Luke Hawks, who owns Wildkat Sports, they're friends. And it was super cool that she was able to bring up one of our students, of Mickey Drama, and do a segment with him. And it's funny because like she didn't have to do that, and that wasn't something that Mickey Drama had no idea she was going to call him up, and all of it was on the fly.
Good
Hell
improv,
yeah.
man. Good improv. Can't
That's one thing
really.
we teach at Wildkat Sports, man. You can't call everything in the back. Sometimes things happen in the ring, and you have to be able to take care of it. And that's funny thing is during Mickey's panel, they asked her, who was your favorite person to work, and she says, I love Beth Phoenix. She says I could walk in and not see Beth, and we could go straight to the ring and wrestle a match, no problem. And that's exactly how we teach our students. It's like, hey, sometimes things happen, and if the guy you're working is late and you don't see him until you're in the ring, well, guess what? You should be professional enough to be able to wrestle a match right there in the ring and call it right there.
Yeah, 100%. It all lies on a lot of stuff.
That's
There's
why I tell
always
people
something
you,
that
you
happens.
got to train. Like you can't, like some people, and I don't mean nothing bad on you guys. I know y'all do backyard wrestling, but there's a lot of shitbags in independent professional wrestling. They think they can just go out there and have a 10, 15-minute match, 20-minute match, and that it's going to look good. No, if you are not in the ring and in the gym, that's not something that's going to happen. Now, looking at like people like Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe, granted, they don't have six-pack abs and things like that, but them guys can get in there and they can work. They can do a 15-minute match, a 30-minute match, no problem. Here you go. And a lot of people don't understand when you get into independent wrestling, it's like college football. You know, those guys play harder because they're not making the millions of dollars that the guys in WWE and AEW are making. So us as independent wrestlers, we got to bring more to the table. People don't know who we are. Like when we wrestled in Philly, Mississippi, nobody knew who Danny Flamingo was. I had to let them know. I had to let them know that I was the babyface and Chuck Devine was the heel. But Chuck Devine had to do the same thing. He had to let you guys know who he was and what he was about within the first 15, 30 seconds of the match. And not everybody understands that.
Yeah. Y'all did
Yeah,
well.
that's one thing that I love about wrestling in and of itself, regardless of what promotion you go with, whether it's WWE, Wildcat, whoever. If it's a good product, then it's going to tell a story. And if you're good at what you do, then the audience should be able to pick up on, you know, how the story goes within the first 30 seconds tops.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what
And
you guys did. Very, very well. I mean, we knew that Chuck was the heel because he was very sour to the audience, very had a lot of attitude between them. And then we knew you were the baby face because you came out, engaged with the audience, showed yourself, got up on the top rope, did that. I mean, you engaged a lot. So
like I said, I appreciate it. God's honest truth. I mean, I know y'all supposed to be interviewing me, but I'm curious of what y'all thought about the show from the top to bottom. Like overall, what'd y'all think?
I
Hey, you
thought
want
it
to go
was
first?
yeah. I thought it was something that I would never get into. I thought it was going to be something that I would be bored of, and that's complete honesty. I'm 100% honest with you. But once the first match started with PJ, like it was thrilling. I could see a lot of the stuff that was happening, and PJ blew my mind doing that whole spin thing. I was like, wait, I need you to stop. um, from the start to the finish, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every bit of all the matches, and I was over here acting like a commentator, like Chuck came out, then you came out, and then the tag team match. Like I was like, how are these two little guys gonna beat these big guys? this is
How
this is
about
not
that?
gonna work.
How about the finish for that with the power bomb and the
Yeah,
bicycle kick?
yeah, that was awesome.
That
I
was
mean,
nice.
dude, I was over here yelling, I was clapping, I was even talking shit to the ref. Did not think I would do that, but I was like, "Come on, ref. I know that was 3." I mean, but yeah, I enjoyed it from beginning to end. Y'all put on a great show, not just you and Chuck, everybody. So,
Well,
that's my take.
we appreciate that very much, and it actually means a whole lot more considering the fact that you've never been to a live event. So, I mean, hopefully that's something that I mean, hey, if we can get you guys to come make that drive down here to New Orleans and check out our next show, I mean, I think it'd totally be worth y'all's time.
That might happen. That might happen.
I'm down. Road trip.
Road trip. All right, Tank, your turn.
I've been to a couple of shows. Like when I graduated high school, my mom got me tickets to a WWE show up there in Colorado, and then I've been to a couple when they came here to Jackson. So I've seen live and in person, and from what we saw at Kayfabe compared to what I saw at the WWE events, and I'm probably going to get flack for this from the WWE fans, but I'm cool with that. I'd rather go see y'all.
Thank you,
Like,
thank you.
don't get me wrong. I'm not taking anything away from Seth Rollins and John Cena and all those guys and gals. They do great. That's fucking wonderful. But I'm I've always been a fan of the underdog. You know,
Right.
the smaller promotions or the guy that looks weaker than the opponent and all this other jazz. And I tend to root more for the underdog than I do for anyone else. Like when I watched WWE, I was a huge fan of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
Small guy going toe to toe with Great Khali and Batista and all these other people. And I look at it like Wildkat is the underdog compared to the WWE. Y'all show, to me, felt more personal. You know, you could see the passion and the drive that each one of y'all had. You know, you had what was it, PJ grabbing the rope and doing that front flip to get out of the arm lock. You had Zayn getting power bombed by the super tiny guy. Like there was, y'all had my jaw dropped half the show at least, just from the stuff that y'all were able to pull off. And between Chuck and the Frenchman, there was a lot to hate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was very upset I didn't get to see that match with Camus and Raz, but they from what I understand we amongst all the coaches and some of the students, we let them know, we're like, hey, we want everybody to try their best, but we let you know we think that Camus and Raz are going to have the best match, the most entertaining match. And again, that's pretty much how it went. Like everybody was really super into it. And I remember telling Raz, I'm like, hey man, look, we're going to Philadelphia, Mississippi. Them is some good old boys. I said, so you're a little dark. They might not like you at first. I said, but as soon as Camus opens his mouth and he says, Vive la France, or whatever it may be, they're going to be like, nope, we want the American guy. And I was like, hey, all you got to do is ride that train.
I mean, from what I saw, that's pretty much what happened. Because as soon as Camus came out and just started talking, I was like, all right, yeah, you can do what you do, but I highly doubt it's going to turn out how you want.
I mean, remember the Hart Foundation. Remember when they used to come out and they wanted everybody to sing the Canadian national anthem. I mean, it got them all kinds of heat for that,
Between them and La Resistance.
Yep. So we tell me, it's like, look, Mississippi might be the South, baby, but they all about being an American. And I was like, hey, look, he's a foreigner. They're gonna automatically just go in on him. They're gonna hate him. And sure enough, like I said, I didn't get to see the match, but I could hear it, and that's exactly what happened.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. Can confirm.
I was making some jokes about it.
That's what I tell my students. That's my one thing that I miss about being a wrestling fan and watching a show as a fan. I used to heckle so bad at an independent show. Oh, it's so much fun. Oh.
It really is.
I'm gonna say something real quick, and Tank, you're gonna have to fucking cut this out.
It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna say something. The French dude came out, and holy fuck, I did not realize he was that fucking ripped.
Yeah, bro, don't cut that out. That's the truth. That boy is ripped. That boy is ripped.
He took his shirt off. I'm like, damn. Wait a minute, because I talked to him, and I talked to him at his booth, and I thought he was just this little string bean, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that threw me way off guard.
Yeah, see, and what makes it even better is, from what I understand, he has a promotion in France, and he came over here on a visa, and he was like, all right, let me look up the schools to go to. And he was in New Orleans, and he's like, hey, Wildkat Sports is the place to go. Wildcat's had, look at RVD's wife, Katie Forbes. That's the only female to graduate from Wildkat Sports. And she works everywhere. She's been to India like 4 times. She does great. She does great work. We've had Olympians come through Wildkat Sports. Now, look, it's not for everybody. You got to be able to talk. You got to be able to wrestle. You got to be able to get in the ring. And on top of everything else, you have to be coachable. You can't, if we tell you, hey, don't do this, or you shouldn't do this, don't explain to us why you did it. That's not the point. You want me to critique your match, I tell you what you should do, what you shouldn't do. You don't look at it and be like, oh, well, I did that. I did that super kick in the beginning of the match on the outside of the ring because of X, Y, Z. No, we don't care. That's not a thing. We teach psychology. It's got to make sense. We got to tell a story. And that's something that's very lost in independent wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
You got to tell a story by beating the shit out of each other. I mean,
I
like
mean,
that's the truth. You really, I forgot who told me this. It was a buddy of mine I used to work with, and I'm sorry, but I forgot his name. He said wrestling was always like dancing in a way. They got
mhm.
to tell some kind of story at some
Yeah.
way, and they only have a certain amount to tell it. So they got to do it quick and fast, just like dancing. And I was like, I mean, yeah. And then I looked at him. I'm like, but it's kind of like sus dancing. Like,
Just like out of everything, that's what you get out of that.
don't get me wrong. I love wrestling, and I've watched it since I was a kid. And growing up, I got out of wrestling, and then I went into the UFC. Like, not into it, but I got into
Right.
UFC, and I've been watching UFC since Chuck Liddell, and
Nice.
loved it ever since. So, you know, and then a lot of these wrestlers are going to UFC and going back to WWE, and it's just a bunch of back and forth now.
I
I
mean,
mean,
let's be honest. The only one that's really been successful in both sports has been Brock Lesnar. But I
yep.
mean, look at him. He's an animal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like when he lost that first fight to Frank Mir, it's not like he was a bitch. Like Frank Mir had to work for that shit, you
Mhm.
know. And then again, on top of that, when he hit his second run, he got that that intestinal infection and almost died. And then look at him now, still getting back in there, still doing it. I mean, like he's an animal. Like, and
Uh,
Punk, for every greatness that Punk was in pro wrestling, I don't think he's too hot anymore. I mean, he's still he's a nice guy, but I mean, eventually people get to a point where it's like it's just not happening anymore. And I mean, when he went into UFC, I had hopes, but I mean, his fight was very lackluster. And look, I ain't stupid. I know if I step foot in the octagon, somebody in my weight class, there's a chance I'm going to get my ass handed to me. But I'm realistic. I know my place on the card. I know my place in the company. I'm not going to
yeah,
pretend to be something I'm not.
Yeah.
I feel that.
You
Like,
you think you could go toe to toe with you professional UFC fighter?
No, probably not. If you're gonna pay me to fight, I mean, I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna earn my money.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to let him know I was there. I have a collegiate background in wrestling, so I mean, I may be able to hold my own. But anybody could be knocked out in any given day, any given. It's you're gonna hit somebody on the button. But I'm not gonna come out here and be like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna whip that guy's ass. I'm gonna let that dude know I was here. He's gonna know I'm not a bitch. But I mean, we'll have to see how the fight goes.
That's
yeah,
that's 100% occasion right there, boy. Like I ain't backing down from that shit.
I mean, and
hell
especially if you're gonna
no.
pay me. Like you look
Yeah.
at what some of them guys, if you're gonna pay me and I'm gonna go get my ass whipped, okay, well, I'm gonna make sure I earn my money. But I mean, like I want to give them their money's worth. What is it? I remember one of the Ultimate Fighters, and I don't remember which number, but I'm watching it, and one of the guys he's very overweight and he's in the heavyweight class. He looks awful, but he wins his fight in the preliminaries for the show and he beats the guy and he knows what Dana White thinks of him. So he turns and he looks at Dana White and he's like, yeah, boy, give me a cheeseburger. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, okay, take your win, take your win. And sometimes you got to be humble and you got to shut the fuck up. And it's like, I'm not going to look at the guy that already thinks I'll look like a slob and tell him, okay, I just beat this guy's ass. Now go get me a cheeseburger like that. And I'm taking it. I'm sure I'm taking it out of context. But I mean, again, if I know that somebody I want to hire me thinks I have a weight problem, I'm not going to be yelling about cheeseburgers after I win. So I mean, like it's one of them things where in any sport you got to learn to be humble, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people get too big headed and think they're the best there is. Oh, get shut down with
Um,
quickness.
it's one of them things, and that's a big problem in independent wrestling. You have a lot of people that tell you how great you are, and then when people give you an actual critique and they're like, "Hey, this is what you should have did," you don't want to listen to it. That's a big problem with female wrestlers in the independent scene because everybody will tell them how great they are, and then when somebody is real with them and says, "Hey, your strikes look bad or this look bad," they want to get all high and mighty and be like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Okay, no problem. Go do your thing.
Well, I mean, taking that into account, it's like I tell Jay, um, we've been best friends for years, and we hold each other accountable. Yeah, we give each other the pep talk and tell each other how great we are, but at the same time, we are not adverse to telling each other how much of a dick we've been or how shitty our work has been or something like that. Because yeah, it's nice to hear how good you are at something, but if that's all you ever hear, you're never gonna grow. You're gonna hit that ceiling.
Right.
That's gonna be it.
And look, I don't want your fans, your viewers of the podcast to think that, hey, I'm just a big Debbie Downer and bitching about independent guys and girls on the scene. Wildkat Sports has afforded me a lot of opportunities, and they've given me a lot in the ring and outside of the ring and in my personal life. So, I mean, it's not something that I'm trying to, dig in on it. It's one of these things where people don't understand. It's a reality of our sport that not everybody can do it, and a lot of people think that they can. And I'm very protective of the business. There's certain things that I won't talk about, or I'll always stay in character for certain things because I mean, Hunter Triple H had said it on one of his podcasts. He says, on Stone Cold's podcast, he's like, kayfabe is dead, and that's not something I believe in. It's like if somebody's gonna buy their tickets, if they're gonna go watch a movie or they're gonna come watch a wrestling show, they're willing to suspend belief. And I'm not going to insult that because I'm a fan too. So, I mean, if I'm feuding with somebody, hey, I'm feuding with that guy. We're not friends. We could be acquaintances. I can have respect for somebody and not like them. And that's true of my real life. I can have respect for somebody and not just hate their guts. And it is what it is. If you put me in a ring with somebody and I got to work a program with somebody and I think they're a piece of shit, if I'm paid to do a job and I'm a professional and I'm going to do that job, and again, so like I said, I don't want your fans to think that I'm just shitting on the business because I'm not. Professional wrestling has done a lot for me. I mean, being in Iron Claw movie, being in Heels, being a coach at Wildkat Sports, like I've done a lot to love this business and I want to give back. So, I mean, that's part of the reason why I'm like, hey, sometimes when shit sucks, it sucks.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this, and I've told Jay this a lot. There are people out there that I don't like, but I keep it civil when I'm around them. That's how you have to approach it. And then as far as the whole digging into the people in the independent scene, I look at it like this. You have a product that you're working with. It puts food on your table, it puts a roof over your head, clothes on your back, and all that jazz. If one day the people you work with suddenly become the worst in the business, either they don't take training seriously or they don't care about the storyline or something, and it
Right.
just all tanks and goes downhill, then that is going to end up reflecting on you because you're working with them and then your product is going to go to shit.
Right.
What are you going to do? So, I mean,
Right.
you kind of have to be a hard ass about getting shit done the right way because at the end of the day, that's your livelihood.
That's what
I was thinking when we were talking about Camus and Raz's match, that's only Raz's second professional wrestling match in front of a crowd. So the fact that
Really?
the fact that y'all enjoyed that as much as y'all did, that means a lot to me as a coach, and as also somebody that's invested in Wildkat Sports. So I mean, them guys train really hard, and not everybody gets in the ring right away. Some guys will train for a couple years and they don't even get in the ring because they're not ready.
You know what? I really think I could take that guy Don Cheeto.
Don Cheeto.
It's just not the actor, just a Cheeto named Don. I just want you to put a Cheeto in the wrestling ring and let me stomp on it. 'Cause that's about all I can take. I was gonna say, I think I could take Danny Flamingo, but then I
You
started
know what?
thinking, I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do that.
Look. It just me and you talking right now, okay? You could totally take Danny Flamingo out to lunch and dinner, baby. You go ahead and write that
Okay.
down.
As long as there's no crawfish involved, we're good.
We're gonna have to fix that. And you ain't never had crab. We're gonna have to work on that.
This is about to
You know what,
blow.
Danny?
Like, I don't know. Hold on. I don't know. I don't know how many of your Cajun friends are gonna hear this, but I'm about to make them mad if they listen. So I've
Hold on,
never.
whoa. Hold on. Before you go any further, I need to put this out there. This is solely Jay's experience.
Okay.
Tank is down for all the crawfish and the crab and everything. So we can go and get some beer and eat some crabs. I'm cool with that. This is one half of the station, not the full station.
This is the hesitation
out
part. He's the
Yeah,
station.
because he hesitates.
Hey,
a lot.
Tank, look, baby, nobody's perfect. All right. We just, everybody's got that one
Right.
friend.
Yeah.
I've never eaten a full crawfish. When I've eaten the crawfish, I break off their claws and eat the meat from their claws. But then that's it. That's all I eat.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you just don't know how to eat crawfish. That's why you don't
No,
like it.
you suck the head and all that good jazz. I'm not doing that.
You ain't the first guy to say that to me. It's totally fine, baby.
Like, that just sounds gross. Sucking the brains and all that. I'm
Oh,
good.
it's so good.
I'm
Oh,
good,
man.
man. I'm
Oh.
good.
And then when you peel a tail, man, you only got to peel it a little bit and you pinch the bottom, pull meat comes right out, man. I'm that when y'all come down, we gonna go have some crawfish. And what you don't eat, me and Tank's gonna eat. Don't even worry about that.
Don't even worry.
Gotcha.
Look, y'all guys
I
have
got
like
you.
these big pots and y'all put them on these tables. I don't know how the hell y'all eat all of them.
Oh boy. We can
Hey.
gorge. Oh, it's so good.
I'll tell you how. One bite at a time.
Amen. Amen. Absolutely right.
So I have a question for you.
What you got?
With Wildcats, with being with them for so long, and with pretty much expressing about how you don't think kayfabe is dead, and how expressing how that is. Do you see yourself going for another like 10 years, 5 years doing this?
Well, I mean, I'm 40 now. I've been in, like I said, I've been in going almost 11 years. I would like to think that I could try and go another 10 years. And all the podcasts that I've been doing, over the past few months, everybody asks, what's my ultimate goal? I'm real. Like I told y'all earlier, I'm realistic. The chances of WWE or AEW or any of these other big companies picking me up are slim to none. And I've accepted that. I am very big on being able to do things behind the camera and in front of the camera. And I have a good enough personality, enough charisma that when my in-ring career is over, I can definitely be a commentator and a backstage interviewer and things like that. I can be a manager. And then from there, when things don't work out or when things just get too much, I can do things behind the scenes. I can coach, I can do stuff like that. So, I mean, in 10 years, I do feel that I'll still be in the wrestling business. I don't know if I'll be an in-ring performer, but I definitely will be able to contribute to the craft that I love as much as I do. I mean, I've sacrificed a lot of time with my family. My youngest daughter doesn't remember a time before wrestling. My oldest daughter barely remembers a time before wrestling. And then my wife constantly, granted, we train, we don't train every day, we train 3 days out the week. But I mean, on top of the days that I'm not home, if I go out to a show and something like that and she can't be with me and come with me, I'm on the road. So, I mean, my family has sacrificed a lot for me to be able to do this. So, I mean, eventually, yeah, I would like this to be my life, the way I would make a paycheck. But as of right now, I got to work the 9 to 5 and I got to do wrestling as a part-time gig. But I could definitely see it in 10 years that I'm still doing something with wrestling. Now, whether or not it's in the ring competing, I really don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
And that's how you
Yeah.
know kayfabe is not dead, because that passion there.
I mean, and that's what I tell people. If you get into independent wrestling and you're doing it just for the money, you are definitely getting in for the wrong reasons. I mean, not everybody's going to be able to sell t-shirts. Not everybody's going to be on the main event. Like sometimes you're going to be the curtain jerker. Sometimes you're going to be the popcorn match. Like it's what you bring to the table, what you want to do. And people don't understand that. They think they sign up and they're going to go out there and all of a sudden they're going to have a Seth Rollins and Randy Orton match, WrestleMania match. No, you're not. It's not a thing.
might get that Mikey Whipwreck match. I mean, it is what
it's
it is.
definitely possible.
You know? And
That
that's one thing that I think a lot of people don't understand. I mean, all right, you got to have the drive and the passion, but you also have to have that commitment because, I mean, I'm sure it gets lonely as hell, out there on the road when you're traveling from town to town putting on shows. You don't see your family for X amount of days or months or however long. That's like for the WWE, it was what, 350, 360 days out of the year that they're traveling, not seeing their family and all that jazz. I mean, I know independent may not be anywhere near that, but you're still gone from your family for a good amount of time.
I
So the
mean,
family makes sacrifices.
the first time I've only done it twice. I went to Salem to wrestle for a WrestleCade, and up there with Zane and them. And I've missed Thanksgiving only twice with my kids and my wife. And it was definitely something like, I'm looking at the boys and we're having Thanksgiving dinner at I think it was Cracker Barrel. And I'm just sitting around. I'm like, man, I miss my kids. And I rarely say that, but it's like, this is the first that was the first Thanksgiving I wasn't with my family. I was on the road with my wrestling family. And it's just, being on the road is one of my favorite things. I love the traveling part. And not being able to have my family with me was very, very disheartening. But my first time doing it, I was Revolution champion. It was my first title run, and I was wrestling on a show, Showcase of Champions, so I had to be there. But there was a time that Wildkat Sports, we got booked to go to San Diego, and we drove cross country. We drove from New Orleans to San Diego, and I got to bring my wife with me, and we were cramped in a 15 passenger van. We took out 2 of the seats. We had 12 people in the van with a bag. Everybody had one bag, and we were cramped up, and I absolutely loved it, man. I having to have my wife there with me and being on the road with everybody was just super cool, and she got to see the things that we do behind the scenes and in front of the camera. So it was really fun. Like I love stuff like that.
would would Wildcats ever come to Jackson?
I mean, it's one of them things, baby. Money talks and people walk. It's one of those things where people got to understand Wildkat Sports. If people are willing to book us, and again, we bring you guys saw for yourself. We bring top tier talent. We can book some WWE guys and stuff like that, but our homegrown guys can do a show and knock people's socks off. So yeah, if there's somebody out in Jackson that wants to book us, we would love to come out there to Jackson. And again, you look at Kayfabe Fest, there's nothing going on in Philadelphia, Mississippi, besides the casinos from what I saw. I'm sure there's a movie theater out there, but I mean, there's not a lot going on. So I mean, a place like that, we would love to come and be able to entertain the local townspeople just so they know who we are. I mean, the people at Kayfabe Fest were very happy with the show we put on, and man, they treated us like royalty. They were awesome. They were really nice.
Although there's one person I couldn't go up to that he just looked so angry.
Who's that? Suge White.
Nope. I went up to him. He was pretty chill. It was
He had a very nice coat.
Yeah, that coat is nice.
Yeah. It was Zuka King.
Really?
Yeah, he just like no, don't get me wrong, he gave me the time of day when he gave us the charity autograph that we put on our table. But then just after that, he just looked so mad, and I'm just like, man, I'm afraid to go up to you and be like, hey, man, that was a good match.
Right.
In his defense, you think everybody looks mad.
Look, man,
I'll
go back.
I'll call you, and you're like, why do you sound so mad?
I do, but like, dude, he was just like this and just looking around. I'm like, man, no one's gonna attack you. I, I don't.
I tell you what, if you would have met heel Danny Flamingo, you would have said the same thing. Because I mean, heel Danny Flamingo, I tell kids that they're adopted and their parents don't love them. Like I am very as a heel, I am very brutal, very brutal.
That is awesome.
So okay, I guess outside of him being a cheating bastard, because he had that iron thing when he fought Brady at Philadelphia. Is he a good, nice guy, or can you not say?
Well, I mean, Zuka and I have had one other run in at a show that we did together years ago. I do know that he was Chuck Divine's very first match outside of Wildkat Sports. And Chuck Divine speaks very highly of Zuka King. And what I know of Zuka King, a fantastic guy, he's very committed to his craft. So the fact that you were intimidated by him and you thought those things about him speaks to the caliber of his craft. You know, he wants to be good at what he does. So for you to think that, that means he's doing his job. You know, he's a nice guy. He really is. Just depends on where he's working. Is he working babyface or is he working heel? You know.
Yeah. And it wasn't just the match. You got to understand that I've been ever since Moon decided to announce this. I've been following your page for Kayfabe Fest and our Greg's page. I've been following that page, whoever page it is, and Zuka King did a promo video, um, and he just smack talk Philadelphia, putting his stuff in the suitcase, very like, fuck this shit, kind of thing like that. So he kept it up for the whole time.
I'll tell you what, I'll give you this little nugget. For Chuck Devon and I's match, we was originally supposed to do promos before the match. And Chuck Devon is very good on the mic. And he was going to call Philadelphia the butthole of America. And I was so upset when he couldn't cut the promo. Even if I didn't get a promo, I didn't even care. I wanted to hear his promo. And that's one of them things, man. Like I'm still always a fan. Like, especially when somebody's really on a roll. And when Chuck Devine gets going, you go back and look at some of Chuck Devine's work, his mic work is impeccable. And his wrestling is fantastic as well. But I mean, Chuck Devine, he and I are definitely, if we were wrestling in the 80s, we would have been superstars. Like we just have, it's a certain kind of charisma that they didn't really have too much back then. And we would have fit in perfectly. We do our thing now, but again, you have to know your place on the card. Chuck and I main evented Wildkat Sports' anniversary show to Revolution Rumble in November. And that's when Chuck Devine's 511-day title reign as Revolution champion came to an end. And I'm the only one that was able to dethrone him. Now, it's just one of them things where it's like, man, like you have to understand, we worked hard to be able to be the main event of that show. And it's funny because Slime Season, Buku Dow and Jay Spade, they opened the Revolution Rumble. Unfortunately, they lost the tag team titles, but Jay Spade and I were in the same class together. And we were the only two that lasted out of a class of 4. So it's like Jay Spade and I have already spoken about it. It's like, hey, our class opened that show and we closed that show. And it was a fantastic card from the top to the bottom. So I mean, it's one of them things. Zuka King, Chuck Devine, everybody has got a tremendous amount of love and respect for this business. And again, it's one of them things that's very much lost nowadays. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah.
Nah, I gotta agree with you on that. And I gotta agree with you about Chuck's mic skills. He put one out on Facebook before Kayfabe Fest, and I swear I watched that thing probably 20 times. Like it's just when he's on the mic, it's just enrapturing. Like it draws you in.
I have not seen it, so I don't know yet.
Yeah, we cut a promo together, and then he cut a promo separately. And it was great. I mean, even if you go back and watch the stuff from before the Revolution Rumble, again, the mic work, people don't understand, man. Like some of these new guys, these young kids, they want to get in pro wrestling, and then you put a microphone in their hand and you're like, hey, you got 30 seconds. Tell me about yourself. And they word vomit. They can't talk. If it's not text messaging or Instagramming or any of these other things, they can't do it. And look, man, when WWE comes calling, they want to make sure not only can you work in the ring, but you need to be able to work a microphone. Like, I mean, not everybody can have a manager or Paul Heyman to talk for them,
God, if they did. Paul, look, say what you will about the man, but Paul Heyman is like God tier when it comes to promoting stuff.
Paul
about
Heyman,
Teddy
Paul
Long?
Heyman definitely, he should have a spot in the WWE Hall of Fame, definitely. I mean, ECW made WWE and WCW better. I mean, think about how many times they poached at Paul's guys. Like, he couldn't afford to pay them what these other people were paying him. And it's like Paul Heyman made nothing into something. And whether you love him or hate him, you really cannot deny that.
Well,
Like, I
what,
mean, that's where.
let me
Go for
ask you. Let me ask y'all this: what do y'all think of Teddy Long?
Teddy Long's fantastic. He used to be general manager of Wildkat Sports for a little while. Teddy Long is
really?
yep. You have to
We
go
didn't know
look at
that.
you have to go look at the alumni page on Wildkat Sports. You have to understand we've had some superstars come through Wildkat Sports.
He is
You
so
know,
nice. We
y'all,
can't say
y'all
nothing bad
know
about him.
y'all know who Shane Taylor is, right? Shane Taylor just wrestled John Moxley on AEW.
Yeah.
Shane Taylor was the first ever two-time Wildkat Sports heavyweight champion.
So that.
Stevie Ray, one half of Harlem Heat. Stevie Ray has been a Wildcat Sports heavyweight champion. We've had I was the first person. Sabu has wrestled for us twice, and I wrestled Sabu twice. Nobody else on the roster has done it. My very first main event match was against Sabu, and then I wrestled Sabu in a triple threat match in the ECW arena. Like, it was fantastic. Like, we've had some serious talent come through Wildcat Sports.
What about RVD or RVD?
RVD has been to our shows. He has done autograph signings. RVD has not wrestled for us yet, but that's something that's going to happen sooner than later, I'm sure. I don't know these things, but it's one of them things I feel it in my heart. You know, Katie Forbes is an alumni. Like, she's the only female to ever graduate from Wildcat Sports. And again, she's a superstar in her own right. Sooner or later, RVD is going to grace the ropes of Wildcat Sports. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Yo, all right. So my mind is blown right now. I just pulled up y'all's alumni. Billy Gunn, Brian Kendrick, Hardcore Holly, Matt Hardy, Sabu, the Hurricane.
What?
Dude,
The
Shannon
Hurricane?
Douglas, Stevie Ray, Stevie Richards, Trevor Murdoch. Like, good Lord.
Hurricane was my boy.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all.
Like,
A lot of people thought he was stupid when he first made his debut, but I've always liked his outfit and I liked his stuff.
Yeah.
So
Who's
Shane
that?
Helms is
the Hurricane.
the Hurricane.
Oh, Hurricane
Shane
Helms? Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Look, I'll tell you a story about Hurricane Helms. So we were doing a show and he was wrestling for us, and he was wrestling one of our students, one of our former students. His name's Money Mike Carradine. All right. And if you go watch the match, it's on YouTube. You go watch the match. There's a spot where Money Mike gets up on the top rope. Well, he slipped and he fell. And Shane Helms, being the professional and just the awesome guy that he is, immediately he jumped on Money Mike, right? Because otherwise, our crowd, our Wildcat Sports crowd, it's 60% Wildcat fans. Then it's 20% wrestling fans. And then the last 20% of the fans are like, hey, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do. I'm going to go check this out. And our fans would have ate that dude alive when he botched that spot. But Shane Helms, being the professional that he was and knowing what to do, he went in there, grabbed on Money Mike, and just kept on going with the match. So no one was wiser to what happened. And again, people don't understand that. It's just one of them things that you don't learn unless you are wrestling matches every weekend, 2-3 times. You're in that ring, you're training, you're doing the things that you need to do. People just don't understand. Shane Helms is a fantastic person, man. He's an awesome guy.
It's all about the trifecta, man. You've got to have the brains for the business, the heart to keep going, and the physicality to be able to do it.
Okay, I got one of those. So
the heart,
yeah.
So,
yeah, that's what when we were at WWE this past Monday night when it was in New Orleans at the Smoothie King Center, and we had several people that were working the show. We had several of our students bought tickets, but before my students went into the show, myself, all of the coaches and everybody, we were out there handing out flyers promoting our school. People don't understand, man. Like, you always have to be working. You always have to be hitting the pavement. And WWE's in town. That's the best time to do it. And as people are walking by, I'm like, hey, I'm handing them flyers. And I'm like, hey, you don't have to just watch the show. If you want to be a part of the show, this is where you learn how to do it. You come to Wildkat Sports and you train. but it takes sacrifice, blood, sweat, and tears. It's all things that are going to happen. And I mean, like that alumni section, that's something that all of us at Wildkat Sports, we're very proud of that. Those guys respect us enough to show up. You know, I mean, even Scott Hall. Scott Hall's been at one of our shows. God rest his soul. By far, one of the best seminars I have ever been to. That man had a knowledge of professional wrestling that was uncanny. Uncanny.
I'm still tripping over the fact that Matt Hardy
So, yeah, dude, I would
I'll
love
tell
to
you
meet
what,
that.
but Hardy, when Hardy wrestled for us, there was a segment with him and Luke. They were feuding, and he slapped PJ Hawks when he was like 14 or 15, slapped him clean across the face. And they were working an angle. It was great. Absolutely awesome. Now, that was something that happened before my time, but I got to see it. Like, I watched it on YouTube. And I mean, just the angle was great. Absolutely fantastic. PJ Hawks has been around the business his entire life.
Nice. You can tell when we watch his match, you can tell he's been around for a while. It shows. Like if you've been in there for a while and you know what you're doing, it shows.
He one of the times, the last time I went to WWE, we all had tryout matches, and he was one of the ones I wrestled. Like he really is a great talent, man. He's definitely his father's son, and he's one of the ones I think he's going to be something. I think he's going to go places. You know, he's young and he's got a lot of learning to do, but I mean, he's a very competent young man. He's got a lot of heart and a lot of drive, and he's definitely going to be someone that's going to be somebody. Whether he does it in film or he does it in professional wrestling, he's definitely going to be a name that people know.
I will ask this, and I don't know if I can, but have you ever had any kind of feud in real life with any of your family or wrestling family outside of it, like any kind of thing, or y'all guys pretty close?
Well, it's one of these things where it's like, you know, usually the bad apples weed themselves out. And
Okay.
we've had students that they just don't listen, and they think that they're more than what they are. And they usually don't make it very long. I'm very proud to say that all the guys at Wildkat Sports, we have a very good working relationship. Pretty much everybody knows their place. You know, everybody knows that they contribute to the whole. You know, yeah, there might be people that come to see Brady Pierce, or they come to see Luke Hawks, or they come to see Danny Flamingo. However, we are small parts in the cog of the machine that is Wildkat Sports. We train together. We don't always get along, which is, again, brothers do that. And that's one thing is it's comes naturally, very organically. It's a camaraderie. You know, I could call Luke Hawks right now and tell him I needed help, and he would, if he's in town, he's going to help. It's same thing with Matt Lancy or Jay Spade. So, I mean, we have a very good working relationship. I don't always agree with my coaches, and that's when they'll look at me and they say, we don't give a shit. This is what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. But no, I haven't had the opportunity or I haven't been able to dislike someone that I had to wrestle. And I have to say, I feel very fortunate for that. Because I mean, you look at some of the other guys, whether it be Benoit and Kevin Sullivan or Edge and Hardy, you know, they were beefing at the time and they ran these angles. I would like to do that. But again, I'm lucky enough that I don't have any heat with anybody in the locker room at Wildkat Sports that we would have something like that. Now, I have seen Wildkat Sports has had matches like that and nobody's known about it. There was a guy, I don't want to say the two wrestlers because one of them wrestles for us now, but the other one does not. And it was probably the other one that doesn't wrestle for us. It was probably some of the best work I've ever seen him do because it was real. Both of these guys were beefing and they went out there, they beat the dog shit out of each other and still told a great story. Now, I mean, again, I don't want to upset your fans, but I don't mind telling you guys off air what match to go look at. So that way you can see what I'm talking about. That way you can compare it, you know, but these guys went out there, they killed it, had a great match, but they beat the dog shit out of each other. And it was great. It was great. So, I mean, I'm lucky enough to be able to have seen it live, but as far as experience it, no, I haven't.
That's good.
You got my number. Text it to me.
Wait, you got Danny's number?
Yes, he
Yeah,
does.
bitch.
He was
Yeah,
mad
bitch.
enough
You
to
got
walk up to me. He was mad enough to walk up to me and be like, "Hey, can we have you on a Oh, look. At least you got a good view of my flamingo and my cocktail."
that. You know what? You know what? In your honor, I may get a flamingo tattoo.
That's you know what? You might be the first person I know that has done that. So I appreciate that. That's
Get a
fantastic.
flamingo tattoo and then get him to sign it underneath it.
I mean,
Do
look, you have to explain that, but I'm down.
Okay, I'll do it. Shit, don't
Look,
don't
I've
get me.
I've done a lot of dumb shit over my life. Fuck it, I'll do it.
I tell you what, if you're really serious about that, there's a tattoo artist here in New Orleans. Her name's AJ. She's fantastic. She's from Britain. She's got the sexiest accent ever. She's super nice. And she's a big Danny Flamingo fan. So if you were serious about getting that tattoo and you come down, she would be the one I would recommend to get it.
You know what? I got a free calf. I'll hit you up when we come down. Let me know how much it'll be, and you and Jay will go.
Okay. Look, what is it? They haven't announced it yet, but I want to say at the end of March. It's either at the end of March or the beginning of April. Like I said, they haven't solidified the date yet, but that's going to be our next show. But I mean, again, it's one of them things we usually run every 6 to 8 weeks, give or take, depending on what's going on in the city. So, I mean, you guys got me on Facebook and Instagram. So, I mean, y'all will see what we post. So, I mean, hopefully y'all get to come down. It'll be a good time.
Now, we're going to be in, I don't know how far away from it you are, but we're going to be in Lafayette March 8th through 10th.
Yes, I saw that for Kayfabe Fest. They're doing that. I was hoping that they would book us again. I mean, like for Biloxi, Mississippi, and for Lafayette, Louisiana. Because I mean, that's like 2.5 hours, 2:45 from us here in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you get the wild hair to go on a trip, just come up and see us.
Anything's possible, brother. Anything's possible.
Do you want to shout out any of your socials before we wrap up?
I mean, you can find me on Instagram. You can also find me on Facebook. I got my fan page. It's the Shalmation Sensation, Danny Flamingo. I don't know if I told you about that. What we do, my city I'm from is Chalmette, Louisiana, and they call us Shalmations. So when I wrestle at home, I'm the Shalmation Sensation. But when I wrestle away, it's either I'm just Danny Flamingo or I'm the sensational Danny Flamingo. But they can find me on Instagram, Danny Flamingos 00. I'm sorry, 2013, Danny Flamingo 2013. I should know that. My bad.
My bad.
Yeah,
I don't know my shit.
I got that story about how you got that name.
Yeah.
I were out and it's like, ain't nobody gonna know where the hell that is. And then
and look, I always give handsome hard body Harper the credit for giving me my names. He gave me both of my names, or I should say he gave me 3 of my names. The Prince of Paris Road, the Patron Saint of St. Bernard, and the Shalmation Sensation all came from Chris Harper. Just took care of me. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if y'all got to meet him. He was at Kayfabe Fest, but he didn't have a booth, and he was doing commentary.
Is it that?
No, I didn't.
Is that
get to
bald
meet him.
guy?
He is a bald guy. Yeah, he's not the short one. He's the tall one.
I don't think I met him.
No, I didn't get to meet him. We'll have to fix that.
If you look up on the website, like I said, is handsome hard body Harper.
He's looking it up right now.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and close this out because I'm fucking hungry.
Me too, brother. Look, I'm just coming from work, coming straight to y'all, baby.
Hey, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate you even coming on. We appreciate you talking about your wrestling career. It was awesome. We had so much fun. And we're gonna have to get that crawfish thing fixed.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take care of that. But if you're going to Lafayette, have you ever had boudin?
What the hell is that?
Okay, that's a no. That's what that is. That's a no. That's a no. So when you go to Lafayette, Lafayette is the best place to get boudin. When you go to Lafayette, get some boudin. You are going to absolutely, well, it is spicy. So I know you said you're a bit of a bitch and you don't like spicy foods.
I like spicy food. Wait a minute. I never said that.
Hey, Tank, what did he say? He said he didn't like the spice of crawfish, right?
Yeah.
It's the spice of crawfish is different from like. Look, I've had the
Spice is spice, and spice is not.
Okay, listen. I've
Oh,
had
we're
the
listening.
hottest. I had the hottest wings from Buffalo Wild Wings. They ain't shit. Okay, I've had buffalo wings. I've had lemon pepper. I've even. Matter of fact, hold on.
You know what? You know what? You ain't had New Orleans spice, so I'm gonna need you to sit the fuck down.
Wait, hold on.
He is sitting down.
I am
Oh,
sitting
yeah,
down.
well, lay down then.
I even tried. I even tried this. Now this was bad. This is bad. This is bad. So, but like, yeah. I mean, I've even had the end hot sauce. I mean, come on. It just crawfish spice does not taste good. I mean, you
When
can't.
you go to Lafayette, go ahead and get you some boudin, just so you know it's gonna be a little spicy. And if I can ever get the two of you down to New Orleans, I'm gonna show you what real Cajun spice is, baby. And you can write that down because it's gonna be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, we might
Well, I
just
mean,
one
it's
day.
recorded. We've got video evidence of it, so I'm gonna hold you to it.
Hey, look, we might one day
Uh,
just say fuck it and go on a road trip and just be like, "Yo, Danny, we're heading that way."
I'm just saying. I mean, hey, if you come early enough in the week, we train on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So y'all can come hang out for a training session. And then afterwards, we can go out and go have some drinks and go get some food. I got a perfect spot right in the French Quarter, right in the heart of the French Quarter for y'all to come see.
look. As long as you can promise me, we'll get a beignet.
Absolutely. We will be right down the street. We will literally be in spitting distance of Cafe Du Monde.
Look,
Down.
I'm sold. I'm done. Let's do this.
All right, guys, make sure to follow us on all of our socials, which is down that way, this way by old Danny here.
That's it.
And make sure that you follow us on YouTube, Facebook, all that good jazz. It's all there. It's all in the QR code. Thanks.
Follow Danny. Check
Follow
out.
Danny. Hey,
Sports.
hey,
Follow
hey!
and
I was
please
getting there.
Do your job.
look, and please follow Wildkat Sports on YouTube. Be able to watch all of our content. You'll be able to see all of our matches. You'll be able to see me win the Revolution title at the Revolution Rumble. And I know the Kayfabe matches will be coming sooner than later.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So go follow them because apparently these two like to take my job, so it's okay. Nah, just
GG
kidding.
scrub.
Hey, GG, bitch.
Yep. I appreciate
Thanks,
you guys
guys.
very much. Thank y'all for having me on.
All
Hey,
right.
we
Peace
appreciate you,
out.
man. Nothing but love from us.
Wait,
Latest.
wait.
What?
Okay, let's peace out. Now do it.
Attention passengers, this is your conductor speaking. We are departing the hesitation station. Please stand clear of the closing doors.